so Terry, I thought you might appreciate this one. When to consider a backlink cleanup? We were kind of talking about this before the show, actually, so this should be interesting.
Yeah, that's Eric Ward's piece, right?
No, this is a fellow named John Ball. And we'll plug his company. I'm not sure if he's going to like that by the end of this all, but okay. John Ball is the CEO. Oh, he's the CEO of Page One Power. Well, there you go. All right. So interestingly, this guy's advising really, pruning now and again, but massive cleanups once you get a penalty. Okay, so I guess the first thing is a forensic kind of guy. Oh, hold on, I'll put this up for the people watching here. All right, so okay, my first problem is fairly simple. If you're waiting until you get a fucking penalty to do a massive cleanup, it's probably too late. Just saying, I don't know. The fact you've got that penalty might be your subtle fucking hint that that's a little too late to be doing this. So yeah, massive cleanups. So you've received a manual penalty or warning. I don't know. Would you wait for that? Anybody?
Well, it's a tough challenge because again, we're talking. How long's the website been there? How long have they been actively promoting their website? How much money do they have? In a lot of cases, most people do wait to see what happens.
Not a fan, man. Not a fan. I've seen too many people. It depends how much you can afford to lose that traffic. How's that? You know what I mean, Steve? You're a big fan of don't keep all your eggs in one basket. So,
right.
I think you have to almost weigh how much can you afford to fucking lose it. No.
Well, not only how much can you afford to lose, but how much can you afford to pay to clean it up?
Yeah.
There's definitely a benefit cost analysis thing that has to be done there, because I've seen websites with absolutely horrible link profiles that are doing just fine. I don't know how long they're doing it.
Wow, shoot.
I would look at that.
Deb's just got to turn her speakers down a bit.
Can't have it done at the same time. It'll loop. Anyhow, what I would suggest is if you know that you are doing things like putting 300-word posts up on blogging sites and networks, you might want to just start disavowing that now. I mean, you know about it. It's pretty easy to do, and it ain't helping you.
Right. I got a client right now, a new client, that basically I'm not actually doing SEO per se. I'm doing content strategy and some other stuff. But just because I am an SEO, I was doing some competitor analysis. I happened to go by Majestic. I plugged in his site, and I saw, 400,000 links from 86 domains. I was like, dude, can you possibly hook me up to your Webmaster Tools and stuff for a sec? I just want to check a few things. And his first question was, what's Webmaster Tools? And, it's just a cursory part of what I do. I still look for stuff like that. And if I had found something, problematic, I would say, hey, dude, you might want to go fix that before it's too late. So I don't know. I think I agree with you, Steve. I know what you're saying. Can they afford the cleanup process is a different story.
There's a lot of SEOs that are a bit like that guy who fell off the top of the Empire State Building, and as he went past, each floor could be heard saying, "So far, so good."
Yep. Exactly.
That's pretty good.
Now I know, like when we do,
that gets really dangerous.
When we do site audits, we're as thorough as possible and say, okay, if you've done all these other things, here's a list of other things you need to continue to look at. You might want to start doing this, this, and this, and we include that type of cleanup in that. But usually it's so far down on the timeline and so far down on the budget allocation that it doesn't get gotten to until it becomes more important.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
A lot of times, if you're doing good, clean work going forward, you get a little bit of a pass on some of the stuff in the past. Depends on how bad it was.
Steve, I'd just like to say where I get kind of, nervous when I see that, right, is when I see one technique used to get like half the links.
Right.
And that technique has been, let's say, focused on by Google in actual videos and, you know, the propaganda stuff. Well, that tells me when Google comes out and says guest posting, right, is not good, and 2 weeks later you're hearing about them coming up in penalty lists and that there's actually a guest posting penalty, I think that's kind of a precursor that not everything that Cut says is an out-and-out lie, because this is...
Well, no, Terry, you and I talked about it. Like, we noticed doing recon requests, when Google would give you a reply, it's almost, I'd say the percentage of people who get out the first try are low because they're just trying to slap you around and get your attention. So we used to get a lot of, like, 4 to 5 example links from Google in the first reply in the recon requests would be directories. Now, log posts. Even Weebly, places like that people would know of and probably used. Yeah, we're starting to see those more, and it was kind of funny that it was within a week or so of the formal stick a fork in it post and everything like that. But yeah, we're starting to see those more and less of the directories. I think to a degree because we're also disavowing or getting directory links taken down as part of the process.
We were lucky in that we got to take down a couple of blog networks too for people.
So yeah, but yeah, we started seeing that.
You see people remove all these links from guest posting sites, and nothing happened to their rankings. Not up, not down, just stayed the same.
Well, again, if they've devalued those links, all you're looking at is some sort of trust element. So
Yeah.
I don't think that we're counting them anyway. So
when you say, okay, I realize these are no longer being counted by you, I'm now going to take responsibility, I think that's when you can maybe push that trust level up by showing them that you're being proactive now and you learned your lesson. Personally, I think going forward, I want to build my own index of links of what Google knows about and not depend on them to keep track of it. I'll look after it myself, thank you.
And on a side note, Terry, was the other thing we talked about before the show was, take it for what you want, but in a, semi-whatever private kind of conversation with Googler, I was asking about, does building a history help you at any point, meaning disavowing, I called it proactive disavowing. How's that? You know what I mean? If you're monitoring every month new links through whatever your GWT or something, and you see stuff, and you're actively disavowing the crap as you go, or maybe even you paid for a link somewhere, but that site didn't put a no follow on it, so fuck it, I'm going to throw it in the disavow because I actually want the traffic from that site, thus I am advertising there. Yeah, you never know what happens.
If I were to arrange a link from a site, and they would not put no follow on it, I'd just go disavow the site.
Anyway, so I was asking...
traffic, not the link. And that's telling Google, I want the traffic, not the link.
So I was asking essentially, does proactive kind of pruning have any kind of advantage? You know what I mean? And essentially what they came back with was that, yeah, it helps show a record or a history of, a concerted effort of awareness or whatever. Now, it might be, too late. You might get a manual action, but at least you can refer back and say, well, we have been proactively doing this, that, and the next thing. And according to the person I talked to, they said, yeah, it was probably a good idea to do that. You know what I mean? Take it for what you will. Again, it wasn't a public conversation. So
I think that would really come into play if you had legitimate case of negative SEO.
And I think that's exactly probably where, considering I used to talk with him about that a lot at that time, I would think that's probably what I was thinking, yeah.